if you're in Florida, if you work at a school, or if you go to school, if you have kids that go to school, you might have noticed that the books are disappearing from the shelves. That is because the new Stop Woke Act is going into effect, which criminalizes teachers, administrators, anyone for subjecting children to the crime of reading, specifically any book that might have anything to do with history, people who aren't straight white cis men, and or straight white cis men doing history in a way that makes them look bad. So anyway, you could be charged with a felony, a third-degree felony, and teachers are preemptively clearing their shelves. I just want to play this video. This is of an empty shelf in Mandarin Middle School located in Duval County, one of the counties that has already preemptively started clearing their shelves. Cute. If you're listening as a podcast, it's just a bunch of empty shelves in a school library. For
the most depressing scholastic book fair ever.
Yeah, that's
like, that makes me want to go back to being a elementary school student and be like, you know what? I'm not going to skip to the end of this book and read the last page. I'm going to read the whole thing.
You took it for granted, didn't you? Now
I
what
did.
happens when all the books are gone? Not so cute anymore.
Even though our librarian was later convicted of like light pedophilia.
All right.
He was
proving the conservatives' point. Just way to go.
That's true.
That is true, Mr.
That's
Spence.
True. If only
man.
we hadn't got rid of the books, that would never have happened.
That's right. Wherever you are, Mr. Spence, you taught me the Dewey Decimal System, and you didn't touch me, so I'm thankful for that. But anyway, the point. Okay, so what's happened? What is going on? What is this fucking bill? Yes, 1467 took effect in July. Mandates schools books must be age appropriate, free from pornography. You guys remember all that? You guys remember when like you're reading The Giving Tree and you're like, oh my god, and then he gave the leaves, and then oh my god, Giving Tree's got a giant dong. You guys remember that part?
No, but I remembered when we were reading certain
Adam
books.
Bagley.
I remember when we were reading certain books, and the teacher always called on me, or Catcher in the Rye, the teacher always called on me to read certain parts.
Why is that?
Oh,
the parts of the N-word.
Yeah.
Wait, stop it. That is the most cringy, embarrassing, awful,
I'm numb to growing up in like predominantly white public school America. Again, it was a great privilege, my educational system and upbringing. But yeah, there was just stuff like that all the time that was like, all right. And so for this part,
wow.
Oh my god, Jan, take it away. You're like, I
was a good reader though.
Oh, I bet. I'm clearly not a good reader. But anyway, okay, so all these pornography is banned because again, there was apparently Hustler magazine really crushing it from K to 8. The department's new rule, published and approved January 18th, clarifies that library materials, including classroom libraries, must be approved and selected by a media specialist. This goes against precedent. Classroom libraries have historically been overseen by no one but teachers who simply select and stock books they believe might be intriguing to students. Often teachers bought the text with their own money or by fundraising online. We've seen that. So now what's going on? 2 counties, Manatee and Duval, have directed teachers to remove or wrap their classroom libraries, according to records obtained by the Washington Post. The removals come in response to the fresh guidance issued by the Florida Department of Education. And let's see, I love this part. One teacher emailed the Manatee superintendent, Cynthia Saunders, with questions and concerns. Saunders replied that violating the state law on the book collection amounts to a felony of the 3rd degree. So they're all, scared about it. That being said, Saunders also said, we're seeking volunteers to assist with vetting and compiling a website list so books can be returned to the libraries. So let me get this straight. Teachers were the ones who oversaw the libraries. They requested them based on their curriculum, etc. Now they got to remove all the books, but now the superintendent's like, does anyone want to volunteer to vet the books? Motherfucker, that was the teacher's job. That's what they were doing. That's the whole thing. And now you need volunteers to be like, what, like the handmaids of fucking Ron DeSantis, making sure the word gay isn't like, you can't even like crossword, like word find it anywhere on a page. So anyway, this is, guys, it's happened. I have to say, I don't know which stage of like the Third Reich's rise we're in, but we're in one of them. Like, it's,
one does not even have to go to Nazi Germany, because this was we're working on an episode right now for the show about the parents' rights movement as a sort of trope,
God.
right, or a slogan. And from the earliest days of this slogan, especially more acutely during the John Bircher movement in the 50s, they've been trying to ban books in schools for years. In fact, in the 90s, it was the cause. It was like the huge cause on the right. You had the books with gay and lesbian themes, where there was a whole panic around that. It was central to the Contract with America, was this idea that we were going to vet education materials. 1994 with Newt Gingrich. They are dusting off the classics, but it's fueled by QAnon. It's fueled by moral panics around trans and all this groomer stuff. It's gotten more toxic. It's gotten more violent.
yeah.
It's gotten more powerful. I don't think they achieved this level of success in the 90s or even the 50s, for that matter.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, were they actually doing this back then?
Yeah, they banned books a lot in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, it was pretty common. But I don't think you would see this kind of blunt instrument. But I could, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the like empty shelves may be somewhat new, where it's a felony. Because I think historically they would ban books like on a case by case basis, but I don't think there was this idea that if you had a unsanctioned book, you could possibly go to jail.
Right. I remember like Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye was always like but you're making us hate pretty little white girls. How dare you? Like, it was always like a sort of polemic around that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, by this logic, like everything's out, like what they're going to replace it all. They're going to reopen the libraries and it's going to be like Rush Limbaugh, the legend, the man, the myth, the throat cancer legend. Like it's going to be so much. Dan was like, ooh.
I mean, I thought you were going to go a different myth with Rush Limbaugh throat legend, but I
throat goat I think is the
throat goat. Rush Limbaugh
is
many people don't know this. Really gave Nancy I remember 2 cancel cultures ago, like when I was a really young kid, like back in 2021 again, when like apparently the liberals were out banning Dr. Seuss books, and all the Republicans had to like lock arms and go, in the name of almost like my old protest buddies back in Berkeley, in the name of a fascist America, we promise that there will never be any book bannings done by the government. We conservatives love free speech. And 2 years later, like literally we've got an entire regime of book banning, and it's not even like, okay, Cat in the Hat. It's like Horton hears the N-word. It's not even like that bad stuff. It's like these are like, one book that was mentioned earlier in chat, if I can remember it again, I was trying to remember earlier, was like To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Which was another teacher where for some reason I would always get called on to say certain parts of the book. But on the other hand, like I think it's a good moment to, I think in a professionally guided way, guide kids through American society, through literature, through history, through science, through all these other different things. I mean, there's always a big deal with like, okay, just like you were talking about, Fran, usually teachers are the ones who are managing all these libraries. And just as libs of TikTok can go around the country and find some teachers who are like out of pocket in some cases, you could probably find some conservative teachers who are doing way worse than having the black kids say all the N-words.
Yeah, we saw that with the Sokotoa lady. We remember. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.